Prominent Indian journalist Shivani Bhatnagar was killed in her own home in broad daylight. Scandal that followed threatened to expose the top tier of Indian politics at the time. Then the case went cold for next 3.5 years. What transpired inside that East Delhi apartment that day? There was no forced entry, no stolen items, and most importantly, her infant son, who was with her at the time, was not harmed. If I'm honest, research on this case was rather limited. Couldn't find much information about the victim, Shivani Bhatnagar. Little details that tell you what kind of a person she was. Where did she grow up? Her family background, education. How did she enter journalism? None of that was available to me. So I had to come to my own conclusions, paint a picture for myself what kind of a person Shivani might have been. She was a well-known journalist and was once appointed to the Prime Minister's office. At the time of her death, she was a principal correspondent with the Indian Express. She mostly covered political affairs. I assume by virtue of her profession, she might have been a strong, resilient go-getter, someone who was not afraid to ask questions. To rise to the level she did, she might have ruffled a few feathers here and there, maybe made some enemies on the way. It is also safe to assume she might have made a few connections, friendships if it can be called that, with a few high-profile people. In the end, it was these so-called friendships that brought her down and became the reason for her demise. She was married to Rakesh Bhatnagar, who was the legal head in another major news organization, Times of India. At the time of her killing, she was on maternity leave. These are the little bits I could gather from various articles I came across. On January 23, 1999, at around 3:30 in the afternoon, Shivani got a call from the security guard at her apartment complex. She had a visitor, and security was calling to check if he could be allowed in. It appeared that Shivani was expecting the visitor. It is reported that when police entered after the murder, her dining table was laid out with snacks, as if she was entertaining someone. Anyway, she asked the security person to let the visitor in. None of her neighbors saw him enter or leave the apartment. Apartment security was the only witness to this incident. Visitor's name was lodged as Rajiv Bhatnagar in the registry at the entrance. Sometime later, the same afternoon, she had another visitor. This time it was someone from the family. Here I am assuming again that this person was there to help take care of the baby. Shivani was a new mother and maybe needed extra help. There was no mention of security calling the apartment again. This person, if it was a man or a woman is not known, tried knocking a few times, but there was no answer. Luckily, he or she had a spare key. They used it to open the door and found Shivani lying in a pool of blood in the living area. They called the police and then they called her husband, who was at work at the time. As explained by someone on the scene at the time, Shivani was strangled with a wire which was still wrapped around her neck and then stabbed 10 times or more with her own kitchen knife, which was missing. She was stabbed mostly in her neck and chest area. Whoever had killed her had done a thorough job of it. There was a lot of blood, and she was pronounced dead on the scene. None of the neighbors had seen or heard a thing. I'm thinking if there was so much blood, it was next to impossible the killer had no blood on his person, his hands, his clothes. How was it possible that he walked out in that state and no one noticed? Unless he changed and washed up after. It was not mentioned in any of the reports if there was any fingerprint or DNA evidence, or a sign that maybe someone had tried to clean up after. Anyway, moving on. When her husband reached the apartment, he was in shock. He, of course, had no idea who could have done such a thing. He also had his infant son to look after. As days and weeks passed, they were no closer to figuring out the identity of the killer. There was tremendous pressure on Delhi police. A well-known journalist was murdered in her own home, in broad daylight no less, and they had no leads. In all likelihood, it could be someone very close to her, like a family member maybe. It was only natural to suspect the husband. As investigation carried on, it was apparent that the Bhatnagar household was not as tranquil as it appeared on the surface. There were rumors of cracks in the marriage. Rakesh Bhatnagar admitted as much when questioned by the police. He told them, yes, they had problems. They fought like most married couple. That did not mean he killed her or wanted to kill her. He also had a solid alibi for the time of the murder. He was at work. But being at work doesn't prevent him from hiring someone to kill his wife. That being said, police couldn't find any connection or any suspicious dealings by him to suggest he had hired someone. Even so, he remained a prime suspect for a while. He was questioned multiple times. According to Mr. Bhatnagar, during that year, he was questioned more than 70 times. That must have been an extremely difficult time for a man who had just lost his wife and had a young child to take care of. During one of the interrogations, he suggested it's time police looked at some of Shivani's friends, and one such friend was IPS officer R.K. Sharma. Rakesh Bhatnagar told police Shivani shared a close friendship with R.K. Sharma and had kept his name as her password on her work computer. When verified, it turned out to be true. Ravikant was the password to her email account on her Indian Express computer. When R.K. Sharma was called for questioning in 1999 for the first time, he got the better of his interrogators easily. He had connections higher up in the office and was dropping names at every turn. When asked to take a lie detector test, he found a doctor to certify he had a nasal condition which prevented him from taking the test. And for the next 3.5 years, the case was almost stagnant. Now, if we look at R.K. Sharma and Shivani's friendship, it was a long-standing one. They first met when they both were working in the Prime Minister's office. It started as a professional relationship and turned into something more over time. In the summer of 1998, Shivani was offered a 3-month journalism scholarship in an institute in London. She took time off to fly back to India at her own expense. When a colleague asked her how she could afford it, she reportedly said, "I have a close friend in Air India who fixes tickets for me." It was widely rumored that she was referring to R.K. Sharma. Shivani had even mentioned her relationship with him to her close circle of friends. So it was clear they shared more than a professional relationship. On the day of Shivani's murder, R.K. Sharma was not in Delhi. He was in Pune. Investigation team, having focused on Shivani's husband, had in a way neglected to investigate the link with Ravikant Sharma further. From 1999 to 2002, there wasn't much progress in the case. But that changed in July of 2002, when R.S. Gupta became the police commissioner and took over the case. When they reworked all the evidence collected and decided to take a closer look at R.K. Sharma's call records, they noticed the extraordinary number of exchanges between Sharma and a man named Sri Bhagwan. It was a fact the previous team had overlooked. Deciding Sri Bhagwan was close to Sharma and likely to know his secrets, Gupta put him under the scanner, along with his close associate, Satya Prakash, son of a policeman who had once worked under R.K. Sharma. Police say Sri Bhagwan, under the instructions of R.K. Sharma, drove the getaway car they used to transport the killer to and from Shivani's apartment. Sharma's alibi was that on the day of the murder, he was in Pune. There, he had borrowed a cell phone from a friend named S. Kukreja, a Delhi-based businessman. That afternoon, a little after the time doctors say Shivani was murdered, Kukreja's cell phone received a call from a Delhi cell phone. It belonged to Sri Bhagwan, and its location was traced to the Patparganj zone in the vicinity of Naukunj apartments where Shivani Bhatnagar lived. Kukreja had no direct connection to either Shivani or Sri Bhagwan, so it was safe to assume the call was for R.K. Sharma. Police decided to monitor Sri Bhagwan's phone conversations in hopes that he might divulge some information regarding the case to someone close. Their efforts were somewhat successful. Sources say they picked up definitive clues while monitoring Sri Bhagwan's conversations with Satya Prakash. Little clues and hints to what happened on January 23, 1999. They could piece together that it was property dealer Satya Prakash who recruited the killers. One of them was a man named Pradeep Sharma. Through their conversations, police made the connection that it was Pradeep Sharma who had done the killing. He had used the false name Rajiv Bhatnagar to gain entry to the apartment with the pretense that he was there to invite the family for a wedding. It is speculated that Shivani was demanding more than R.K. Sharma was willing to give. She wanted more from the relationship, but Sharma was resisting. She threatened to leak some confidential documents he had given her. Allegedly, if she had gone ahead with the threat, Sharma's career would be in grave perils, as well as his reputation as a loyal family man. So he had her killed. That's the allegation. But this part has never been proven with evidence, so it remains a speculation. To this day, R.K. Sharma denies any involvement. Once these connections were made and the perpetrator lined up one by one, police proceeded to make arrests. They didn't arrest everyone at once. At this time, R.K. Sharma's family got involved in a media circus. Accusations and allegations were hurled at the high-ranking government officials. If you look at the timeline of events, starting in July 2002, on July 23rd, police arrest Sri Bhagwan. He admits he was close with the Sharma family, almost like a foster brother to Sharma's wife, Madhu. On August 2nd, police raid R.K. Sharma's residence at Panchkula in Haryana, but he had managed to escape and they couldn't arrest him. But Pradeep Sharma, the alleged killer, was arrested that day. On 7th August, still unable to locate R.K. Sharma, Delhi police release his picture to the public and declare 50,000 reward on him. On August 8th, R.K. Sharma's wife Madhu alleges involvement of an influential person and demands CBI probe in the case. On August 15th, Madhu Sharma, in a press conference, alleges involvement of BJP leader and a then minister in the government, Pramod Mahajan, in Shivani's murder. Her allegation was it was not her husband who had an affair with Shivani, but it was Pramod Mahajan. According to Madhu Sharma, it was Mahajan who got Shivani killed to hide their affair, as he was a married man with children at the time. Mahajan refuted all the allegations and said he shared a purely professional relationship with Shivani. Madhu Sharma even went as far as to suggest Mahajan should take a DNA test to prove he was not the father of Shivani's child. That was a serious allegation to put on anyone, let alone a serving government minister. He denied all allegations, of course. Pramod Mahajan angle in this case didn't gain any traction, and police moved in on R.K. Sharma as the prime suspect. In all this back and forth, people trying to save their own hide, they somewhere forgot the victim. All these allegations and rumors of affairs became a shadow on Shivani's many achievements. It was all so unfair as she was not there to defend herself. Somewhere around August 17th or 18th, police confirmed arrest of two more people, Satya Prakash and Ved Prakash Sharma. Allegations on them was, under the guidance of R.K. Sharma, Satya Prakash recruited Pradeep Sharma to do the killing. Sri Bhagwan and Ved Prakash Sharma were named as co-conspirators. On August 23rd, R.K. Sharma was suspended from his government service. And on September 27, 2002, R.K. Sharma surrendered himself to the police in Ambala. During the trial, prosecution alleged that Sharma had given Shivani classified government documents and claimed Shivani intended to expose him for offences under the Official Secrets Act. R.K. Sharma denied all charges and claimed all the call record evidence was all fabricated. On March 18, 2008, court convicted R.K. Sharma along with three other accused for conspiracy to kill Shivani. Ved Prakash Sharma was acquitted. If we take a look at the timeline, trial started in 2003. Conviction happened on March 18, 2008, and the final sentencing on March 24, 2008, where R.K. Sharma and his three co-conspirators got life term. If you're still with me at this point in the video, I wish I could tell you this is the end. That there was finally justice for Shivani Bhatnagar. Her killers were behind bars, serving life for the crime they committed against her. Justice had prevailed in the end. Well, sadly in this case, that is not the reality. R.K. Sharma appealed against the verdict, and on October 12, 2011, Delhi High Court acquitted R.K. Sharma, Sri Bhagwan and Satya Prakash, stating evidence against them was purely circumstantial and prosecution had failed to prove their guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Prosecution alleged R.K. Sharma was a very influential person and had somehow managed to turn several of the prosecution's witnesses hostile. Pradeep Sharma's sentence was upheld, saying trial court has rightly convicted him of murder. So the court recognized him as the killer but acquitted the other three because the motive was not proved to satisfaction. In a way, it was like saying he killed Shivani in her own home, but there was no motive behind it. It was a little unbelievable. Who do you blame in a situation like this? Do you believe that justice was done in this case? Who was at fault? Law enforcement for doing the shoddy job of this investigation, or prosecution for failing to prove that Sharma and the lot had a strong motive. If you ask me, I'll say the system as a whole failed. R.K. Sharma is a free man today, and Shivani Bhatnagar is still waiting for justice. That brings an end to today's episode. If you are still with me, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Leave a kind comment if you feel like it. Until next time.